YouTube, what's up? Batcave Comics, back for another video. Pretty much my first 2018 video. But I was going through some comics, looking to switch them over to Mylar, which most of my books are in the polypropylene or whatever you want to call it. But I really like the Mylar, and I really wasn't sure what the Mylar bags were called or the name for them until I found this community, which I thought was pretty cool. You collect for years and you really think you know a lot about comics, and then you find a community like this and you find a whole new world of information. So it's pretty awesome. I mean, super awesome. But I probably have about 40 books here. I'm saving up to do a haul video, but I don't really buy comics on a regular from my local LCS. I used to go in and spend hundreds of dollars a month buying every issue of certain series. And I realized, you know what? I'm spending a ton of money, and a lot of the books I really didn't even care for. So now that I'm kind of trimming down my collection and just more concentrating on key issues, I tend to just save my money for them key issues. Yeah, you might miss the boat on picking it up cheap and end up spending $50, $100 on a brand new book. But I've realized I was spending $400, $500, $600, every so months, and then all of a sudden I'd hit a good key book. And I realized it was a little cheaper just to, wait for a key book to hit the market and then go pick it up. So that's pretty much what I do anymore. So I was going through some comics, looking to switch them to Mylar, and I pulled a bunch of books that I don't think I've shown before that you guys might be interested in. Some key books that are within my collection. I'm not going to say it's a top 50. It's just some pretty good books in my collection. So anyway, I'll get started. This is one I had already switched to Mylar, which is Hulk 234, First Quasar. Then I have Man of Steel 18, First Doomsday. And this is the second printing. I also have the first printing. And these are in no particular order. Batman 155. First Silver Age Penguin. Now this book here is really shot up in value the past year or so. And this is Batman 121. First Mr. Zero, who later becomes Mr. Freeze. I bought this, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. Maybe even longer. And I didn't pay very much for it. And now a book in this condition, and this one's pretty beat, but hey, you got to take what you can get, is going for like $400-800. I mean, it's nuts. It's really gone crazy. So I'm definitely glad I picked that up when I did. Then I have a What If #1. I think I have 2 or 3 copies of this. I know I have at least 2 laying around. Daredevil #150. First Paladin. This one's in pretty good shape. I think it only has a couple little spine creases, spine ticks on it right there. But other than that, it's in overall condition's really good. Should get one ready as I'm pulling the other one. Annihilation Conquest #6. First appearance of the new Guardians of the Galaxy. Batman 492. This is the Platinum Edition. Then I have Wolverine #1. I bought this one. Actually not this particular copy, but I bought this when it first came out for $1.50. The one I had graded a 9.2 and ended up selling it. And I think I picked this one up for $10. And there's no way this is not hitting a 9.8. I mean, it's completely flawless, beautiful. Green Lantern 141, first Omega Man. I was in Orlando, swung by the Coliseum of Comics, which is a really, really nice LC. Well, not an LCS for me, but for Orlando it is. And this was one of the books I was hunting at that time, and they had 2 of them, and I bought this for $6. And this baby is beautiful. I mean, super sharp. Definitely a 9.6 to a 9.8. There's no doubt about that. The Shadow, #1. Really sharp copy of that also. A lot of these I'm eventually going to have graded. Some of them I want to get signed and then graded. Submariner #1. Firestorm, the Nuclear Man #1. That one's in really nice condition also. Miss Marvel #1. Defenders 17. This is the first appearance of the Wrecking Crew. Man-Thing #1. This is the first series. I probably have 3 or 4 copies of this #1 of the second series. I only have 1 of these, but this one's in pretty good shape also. Maybe a 9.2 to 9.4. Superman Adventures #5. First live wire. #12 is one I do not have that is on my 2018 wish list. One I definitely want. Daredevil 158, which is when Frank Miller started the artwork on Daredevil. And that's a pretty sharp copy. I had a really beat up one, ended up selling it and picking this one up. This one's super sharp. Probably a 9.4 at least. Conan 23, first Red Sonja. I also had the first full Red Sonja, but I wasn't sure where I put it right now, so I just grabbed this one. Now this one was been one of my favorite books for years. Wolverine #1. One of my favorite books because #1 he's always been my favorite character growing up, and I had bought this at like a little grocery store. They had one of them spinning racks, and I actually got the whole set for cover price. This one's a little beat because it's been read and looked at a million times, so I definitely want to pick this up in a 9.8, and I don't mind paying the money for a 9.8. You know, if it's the right time and I can get it at the right price. Then I have Daredevil 168, first Elektra. Now this is one I definitely want to get signed by Frank Miller. And then have graded. This one's probably a solid, I'm going to say 8.5, you know. Nova #1. I'm going to say these are books I've had within my collection. I'm saving up to do another haul, though. It just takes me a little longer. Tomb of Dracula #1. And I'll probably be doing this from time to time. Going through books, switching them to Mylar, and while I have them out, might as well show them off. Black Goliath #1. Thor 337. First bit of Ray Bill. I had the first Thor 126. I ended up selling it for a better copy, And I haven't picked up a better copy yet, but that's definitely on my list. Creatures on the Loose number 10. Now this is the first full appearance of King Cole. And it's actually the first, pretty much the number one issue of Creatures on the Loose. It used to be Tower of Shadows. Let me see here. Then I have Hulk 340. Just a awesome cover. Now this is one of them covers that's, you know, if not already gonna be iconic. I mean, it gets copied time and time and time again. And do you blame them? I mean, this copy is just fantastic. I'm definitely going to get this one signed and graded. Now these next three are all three that I picked up when they very first came out. I probably have the first 20 issues of Spider-Man number 1. I also have the gold second printing, and I bought all these at cover price, and the silver edition, the $2 edition. And if you remember the Marvel cards that came out in the 90s, everyone was buying packs and packs to get the holograms. There's the Spider-Man hologram. I'm trying to hit it in the light just right so you can see it pretty good. I think the most rare one's the Venom one, which was really hard to find. And I do have it, but guess what? I can't find it. Spawn number 1. I was into Spawn huge when it first came out. I think I have at least the first 20 or 30 copies and doubles and triples of most of them. I had probably 5 number 1s, but I've sold 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 of them. But I didn't realize that the newsstand edition, which this is, was like a sought after rare, book that was going up in price until I discovered YouTube and I seen it on a few guys' videos. So I was like, you know what? Let me go look at my Spawn. Sure enough, I had one. And a regular edition. And this one has never been read. I mean, it's like perfect. If this thing don't hit a 9.8, at least a 9.6, somebody at CGC is going to be delirious or something. Then I have Showcase number 10 or 60, first Spectra. Now this one you don't see a whole lot, and it is beat. But Magnus Robot Fighter number 1. I'm definitely going to pick up a better copy of this. But I saw this on eBay, and it was cheap. I think I paid $10 for it, and it is ragged out. But you know what? I have one, and I'll upgrade someday. Marvel's Spotlight on Werewolf by Night. First appearance of Werewolf by Night. X-Men number 14. First Sentinels. And I don't think I've showed this one before. I'm not sure. Submariner number 5. First Tiger Shark. Batman 189. First Scarecrow. Batman 181. First Poison Ivy. And I only have 2 left. Defenders number 1. Pretty solid shape. I had a different one. 6.0 and sold it and bought this one. And this one is a 7.5. I was hoping it was in better condition. I didn't have it pressed. I had my buddy look at it and he goes, oh, pressing wasn't going to help. But now that I look at it, a pressing and a dry cleaning might actually jump this up to a 9 or an 8.0. So that might be in the future. You know, it could use a little cleaning up top. And there's a crease right there and a little one down here. And a few little spine ticks. You know, one of them is not color breaking that I think would press out. But I don't know. And then the last one I have is Marvel Graphic Novel number 4. First appearance of New Mutants. And I had this one signed by Chris Claremont and Bob McLeod. And this one hit a 9.4. But I had 3 of these. Sold the other 2. This one was probably the best conditioned one I had. So I had it, you know, sent off, signed, graded. But anyway, fellas, that's it. That's, wouldn't say a haul, but just, you know, some other books within my collection I felt you guys might be interested in. As I go through and re-Mylar a bunch of my books, I'll be pulling other stuff like this to show off. So I really appreciate y'all checking me out. Keep making them videos. I'll keep watching. See ya.